What's going on, everybody? If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Dapper Dill, and this is a new series I'm going to start. So, my actual job is as an EMT, which is an emergency medical technician, and this series is going to be different stories and different things I come across as an EMT that I thought would be interesting to share with you guys. So, I'm playing Layers of Fear, which is one of my favorite horror scary games, and there's a reason for that. This first story I have, so I can't go into any personal detail. Obviously there's laws protecting people. um, it's called HIPAA. I can't violate that, obviously, so I'm going into much detail as I can without any personal information. I honestly don't remember any personal information in most of the calls I go on anyway. So this one it wasn't an emergency, so we respond hot, which is lights and sirens, which is what you see on TV. And then we have cold responses as well, which is just with traffic. It's not an emergency, but they want an ambulance to go to the hospital. And this was one of those calls where it wasn't an emergency or anything. And we roll up on scene, and it's not like a trailer park, but it's similar to one. So we show up, and it's dark. It's dead silent and dark, and there's cop cars everywhere, but there's no sounds. It's super quiet and eerie. And I look to my partner, and I'm like, all right, this is weird. What if we're coming into some haunted situation or something? I watch so many movies, that's the first thing that comes into my head. So we get out of the ambulance, we walk into the home, and like I said before, it's dead silent outside. As soon as you walk into the house, there's a woman screaming bloody murder. We have no idea what's going on. The police are there. They said it was safe for us to go in, so we make our way upstairs to find this small woman dressed in a white gown, black long hair over her face, leaning up against the wall, screaming. And I was like, okay, this is weird. This is even worse. This is exactly what I was thinking before you even went in. This woman's haunted or possessed, or something's going on. And it was so freaky. She's just screaming and screaming, and we can't get her to stop. And we get her outside onto the stretcher and into the ambulance, and she's shaking and rocking back and forth, and she's talking to herself. She's freaking out about something, and I can't get any information out of her. I can't ask her what's going on. She just said what it looks like for us is bad anxiety, but it was really strange. So she was crying and just inconsolable. This game would be awesome in VR. So this next story, it's not freaky, it's not gross. I guess if you find 600-pound people gross, then it'll be gross to you. I don't remember why we were called, but all I know is it was on the second floor of an apartment for a 600-pound woman. And usually, people that large can't walk. They cannot walk on their own. They have to be lifted, carried out, and they're on the second floor. Only way to get up there is an elevator. No, not an elevator. There are no elevators, just stairs. So we get up there. She's sitting on the couch. Her stomach's touching the ground while she's sitting on the couch. And we're curious how we're going to get her down the stairs and outside. It's not a real emergency, so we're not in any sort of rush. But we still have to get her out as safe as possible and make sure none of us get injured because she's so big. And so we decided to use this device called a Stokes basket. I'll put a picture up so you guys can see what they look like. It's what they use during different rescues, usually where they need the patient to be in the basket and not fall out of it. It really keeps them in there. Plenty of handles for people to carry out, like woods rescues. Someone hurts themselves hiking on a trail, they'll put them in a Stokes basket and carry them out that way. So we have to lay her on the ground from the couch. So we get her laying on the ground, and we get this. We have a giant yellow tarp we use for severely obese people, and we manage to get the tarp underneath her, and it takes like 6 or 7 of us to pick her up on the tarp and lay her into that Stokes basket. Alright, we get her in the Stokes basket. She barely fits. She has fat kind of folding over the edges and the handles. We get all the straps over her, and now we need to figure out what the safest way is going to be to get her down the stairs. So, if you guys could probably guess, after seeing the picture of it, this hallway is not wide. It's a thin stair hallway. Not ideal at all. You can't fit people on both sides to carry her down normally. So I think we had a rope attached to it, and we slide her out of her apartment at the top of the stairs, and we have a few people at the bottom to kind of push to keep her from like tobogganing, like just going flying straight down the stairs and through the front door, and a couple people up top, and we're able to very slowly slide her down the stairs to the end of this apartment. So the thing that makes this story most memorable for me is because after we got her in the Stokes basket, she's crammed up. There's like a whole lot of like 600 pounds in this small basket. And she goes, "Look, Mom, I'm a burrito." This is a middle-aged person, and it's like they're just having the time of their life. I couldn't keep a straight face after she said that. So these stories, they'll be generally short. The calls I go on, about an hour. Usually most of the stuff that happens is on scene, so I'll do. These stories will include a couple calls, couple of stories each one. If you guys have any stories you'd like to share, just message me. I'd be glad to share them on video. Just do not include any personal details. If you do, I can't share it. I'd love to hear what kind of stories you all come across. It can be scary things, stories where you feel like you did a really, really good job and just want to share that. Learning experiences, it can be bloody, gory, whatever you want to share. None of it's going to bother me, and I'll continue to have stories. I got a bunch of them built up, and even more to come along as I continue to work in this field. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more. I'm going to try to do at least one of these episodes a week. I know they're short. It's not often cool calls come in. A lot of calls are very mundane, very boring, what we call routine calls, which is why it's important for you guys to share any stories you have, and I'd be glad to put them in the video. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're a first responder, stay safe out there. If you know anyone that might need someone to talk to, don't forget to text them. Don't forget about them. I appreciate you all for watching. Goodbye.